Thank you, Mayor Petty. It's great to be here. Really, what a magic day as we kind of close out 2012, but really look to 2013 with tremendous hope and optimism, not only here in Worcester, but throughout the Commonwealth. But this day is particularly special, and like Mayor Petty, I want to acknowledge the people that I got a privilege to work with who are here, the former mayors, city councilors, legislators, certainly the mayors who are here who have worked to put pieces of this puzzle together, which I think, as I'll say in a minute, are going to really fuel so much. Ray Mariano working to get the convention center built, John Anderson being an historian, understanding the significance of something like Union Station, Mayor Lukes, who I know initially had some skepticism on this project during her tenure as mayor, continued to push it forward, and Joe O'Brien doing the same, and Joe Petty having been there the duration as well as a member of the council and as mayor, and then Mayor Mullaney, who's someone who is given to this country, to the city, to this Commonwealth in so many different ways, and continues to be an educator about Worcester's history and how important a role that it plays in shaping our future. Today we knit back together Worcester's downtown with its vibrant east side neighborhoods, Shrewsbury Street, Grafton Hill, Water Street and Green Street neighborhoods now known as the Canal District. The fabric of that knitting is even stronger by the presence of a renovated Union Station and a true intermodal transportation hub that will continue to drive growth, private sector investment, and jobs for Worcester, Central Mass, and in the Commonwealth. Reestablished in that knitting is a vital artery that will pulse once again through the middle of this city, that travels from the Shrewsbury border and Lake Quinsigamon down Shrewsbury Street, Route 9, Washington Square, through to Pleasant, through the Newton Square, Tatnick, West Tatnick, all the way out to Paxton, a major artery. And here, once again, east meets west in the center, in the heart of the Commonwealth. Back on May 24th, we had a little warmer day, but it was a good day nonetheless, like today. We had kind of an unusual ceremony. We're all familiar with groundbreakings with the shovels. We're familiar with ribbon cuttings and top-off ceremonies. But back on May 24th, we had a breakthrough ceremony. For the first time in almost 45 years, people in Worcester and Central Mass and the Commonwealth could see from the Common through to Union Station. And it was a reconnection, or a healing, if you will, for a mistake that was made with good intentions back 45 years ago when the demolition of the street grid and the historic buildings took place. And we understand in the Patrick Murray administration what this means. Governor Patrick has taken the time personally to understand and learn about this project. And collectively, the Commonwealth, with the support of the legislature, has put $50 million into this project to help make it happen. Because we understand that when the second largest city in New England is growing and thriving, we make the entire Commonwealth stronger. When we can cross-pollinate where people can live, work, and seek an education, we make the entire Commonwealth stronger. And so our major initiative, one of our major initiatives, has been the Gateway Cities Initiative, and Worcester, being that second largest city, has been a major beneficiary of that, whether it be investing here in City Square or Gateway Park or the Sherman Center or the new Worcester Recovery Center. It's an integrated approach that involves public-private matches and, in some cases, strategic investment by state government as well. This day wouldn't be possible were it not for the private sector leaders of vision and commitment. I again want to recognize Kevin McCarthy and Chris Collins from Unum. I think if you people remember when we had the actual first demolition ceremony with the big switch, Kevin McCarthy talked about how who grew up in Worcester, his dad, I believe, was a bricklayer and worked on this project. And a whole new generation of workers have benefited and families that have benefited as a result of the work that has taken place and will continue to take place on this project. Eric Wexler and the team at St. Vincent's Hospital, Dennis Irish and others, the new state-of-the-art cancer center, and we can't, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for Fred Eppinger, who has shown through his company and personal leadership a commitment to this city that has been the hallmark of Worcester over the years, good corporate leadership that understands enlightened self-interest and working together to make something happen and build a legacy. And I want to thank Fred and the entire Hanover, including its board, for their work. Because it's that board at Hanover that is shared in support of Fred's vision. I also want to recognize Mike O'Brien for his work as city manager. And he has been, and I want to come to that in a moment as well, and Jim McGovern, who could not be here. He wanted to be here, but as people know, they're trying to hammer some things out in Congress at the, as we speak. But Kathleen Polanowitz is here from his office, and I want to recognize Congressman McGovern to secure with Senator Kennedy $5 million for this project as well. And I mentioned Mike O'Brien, but before I do, you know, I want to recognize members of the City Council, past and present. And Joe Petty touched upon it when he just spoke a few minutes ago. You know, the members of the council, you know, sometimes the council can be a tough job. You can be a punching bag. A lot of pundits who don't know what it's like to run for office and serve are quick to sometimes point fingers. But I want to point out to a couple seminal moments that allowed us to be here today, which was members of this council who took some votes. Started out with an eminent domain order about looking at eminent domaining the then owned property at Dead Mall from Cigna. It took a charrette and money to look at the feasibility of what would it take to reopen this. It took, I think, a tough vote to bring on a city manager with the vision and energy to make economic development a priority and make a project like this happen. So I want to recognize and thank the members of the City Council, past and present, who've been there for some of those tough votes that helped make this day happen. And somebody's usually good at hiding in the back, but I know he's here, Dan Benoit. Where's Dan? There he is. Dan Benoit, and I shared this story, back in 1999, running for re-election, knocking on doors throughout the city. And an article appeared in the local paper about his idea of knocking down this mall. And I know there was greeted with a lot of skepticism, but not on the front porches of the neighborhoods of the city. As people, door after door, talked about that, what downtown used to be, how it was connected, thriving, pedestrian activity. And then sitting down with Dan on numerous occasions and putting a team of great interns in my office together at the time as mayor. We did the research and looked at how other communities have tackled this. And I want to recognize Dan for his persistence and vision. He was just recently honored by the Worcester Historical Museum. He has changed the history of this city and deserves enormous credit. It is a testament that bold ideas and perseverance, great things can happen. 45 years ago, a well-intentioned project created this problem. 13 years ago, since the solution was proposed, 2 years ago we broke ground, and today we're going to cut a ribbon and reconnect. And end of the year we close out the year by kind of reflecting back, but also looking forward. And I am, both as an elected official, representing 351 cities and towns, but also as a resident and the son of this city, I look to the future of this city and what it's going to be. 2020, this city will have well over 200,000 people. I predict that over the next several years, this will become one of the fastest growing cities in the country. And it's because bold ideas, perseverance, and teamwork and collaboration are part of what we do. And I know it will continue with great success in a way that everybody can benefit from. So to the entire team, congratulations.